Um, First, I want to mention that the cycle learning planning is very useful to realize about your strengths and weaknesses and the process that you have to do uh, while doing the task or the process of the unit itself. And realize about your flaws that you maybe you already are aware of, but if you write them and you have them there, um, you, or at least I felt more committed with it, and it is a way to remind yourself about the skills that you have to improve. I wrote on it about my writing skills. That is the weakest part that I thought I had, but doing the task and with the feedback session I realized that I have improved this skill. However, there are a lot of important details that I have to improve as um, the cohesion among paragraph and specific words that I use and tenses that I choose when I wrote the task. Um, with this, I want to say that the only way of really improve your weaknesses is to practice. And while I wrote the task, I realized and when I read it after receiving it, I realized that I have a lot of flaws while I write, and now I know that I can improve it if I keep writing more. Also, I wrote about my speaking skills, that now I know that it is more difficult than writing for me. And one of the advices that I received was that I have to speak more, because I am aware that I get stuck when trying to deliver a message or an idea, and one of the main reasons is that I get too nervous when I speak in public. That reason is concerning me, because I am in fourth year and still sometimes I cannot speak without getting nervous, because in a way I feel pressure by the people who is listening, but the only way I could get rid of that problem is to speak more in classes, so I have to do it. And another aspect that I think I have improved is my reading skills, because before I used to read and just highlight some things, but now I sit down and read something and I have to take notes, and I try to take notes of all the things that I read, because then it's easier for me to remember what I read, and to understand ideas while I'm reading, and also to make to with my own words to have an idea of the things that I am reading. Regarding to the strategies and some activities that I can use in the future, I would say that first, the sitting arrangement that we use, the circle that we made in classes is very useful, but there's it is not easy to use this strategy when you have a classroom with more than 40 students, and it's useful until some point, because when you have little children it's more useful to, I realized, and that it's more useful to have them in rows, because you could also work with them in rows. I thought I always thought that it was easier or more benefit for them to be in a circle, but when they are so little, it's difficult for them to, it would be more difficult for them to participate when all your classmates are looking at you. I would say that it works until some point, but not with every grade. The activities that I remember are the mind maps, and because you can summarize a lot of information, and make students to do a mind map will help them to summarize important ideas and important information of a long text, from a long text, for example. And also in a class we had to come up with a definition about a concept. After reading the definition on the paper, and then with our words, we have to define that concept. And I think that is very useful for students. Well, that would be very useful for them, because it would be more easier to remember a concept that maybe it's difficult for them to understand. And then when you put it with your own words, it would be easier for them to remember. Also, making a poster using real materials is something that I would use with the students, because it's more dynamic, and they could actually use, as I said, real material, make something by themselves, and instead of using a computer. And I have to say that in a class of ingeniería comercial, that I had to, the activity that I had to deliver in the English that I had to deliver in the methodology, for the methodology task. I used an activity that we made last year, that was making a poster about a piece of information, and then to explain to the other class. The group, it is a group, and you have to make a poster, and then part of the group had to present to the rest of the class what your group did, and the other part of the group had to take notes about the other posters. And I used that activity this year with the class that I had to deliver, and it worked very good. So I think that I could use it again. Because I like it, and because it's dynamic, and everybody participates, and it's a way to summarize a lot of information, as I'd already said, with maybe your own words or with your own interpretation, and then to share them with the rest of the students.